Yo, it's your boys Dan and Reid from the God's Country podcast. What's up? You're off in God's Country with your boys, Dan and Reid Isbell, also known as the Brothers Hunt, where we take a weekly drive to the intersection of country music and the great outdoors. Those things that go together like a Marlboro Red and a lip of skull.
Or Hippies and Cowboys, brought to you by MeatEater.
Oh, and hit it, Ray. Still. Tacova, still sponsoring the show now, baby. Tacova, thanks for still sponsoring the show now, baby. Come on our podcast and we will give you a pair of boots. But you better have a record deal or something we can shoot, because Tacova's sponsoring the show now, baby.
Getting a lot of praise for these Caymans.
The Caymans still got the Lizzies. I was gonna wear the other ones today, but they're kind of the same shirt or same color as my shirt.
You can't be too matchy,
so don't go matchy on them. Cody Jinks, awesome beard, awesome songs.
Fish guy,
big fish guy.
I mean, I'm not
literally a big fish guy. Loves to catch big fish.
I'm not. I don't. It took me a minute to understand the tank conversation that he was having. Yeah. Do you know more about that than I do?
Yeah, he's calling. It's almost like a pond, like a stock tank pond. Yeah. that he's got. He's got a big.
So he's got small pond, feeder ponds.
Pretty much. And he said one of them was an acre, one of them was about 3 acres. Which is, I mean, in most cases, those are ponds. Yeah. It's not like a literal tank sitting in his backyard. You know? Right. So he's got, what do you say? He's bluegill and crappie in one, and then his big bass in the other, and he feeds his big bass, and that's what we were talking about. I think.
And then they all kind of go to the 30-acre lake?
I think as he fishes out the 30-acre, he'll just kind of stock that the big lake with his. But I mean, that's some real, like,
he gets
real
into
fishy
it.
stuff.
It's fun to listen to.
It's fun talking to a guy that knows the lingo too. That's talking about spinner baits and bait casters. And
he knew. The guy's a true fisherman.
Yeah, no doubt.
He's also a true artist that is traveling all over the place playing his music, and he's really good.
He's got his dropping another album, 725, called In My Blood.
Tour starts 5/29.
That's right.
Cowboys
playing Franklin Theater. I think we're going to try to go. I think he's going to put us on the list for that one. That'll be sharp. I've never been to that place.
Never been.
I've never been to the First Bank.
I've never seen the show
First
there.
Bank.
Wait, is it the Franklin Theater or the Franklin First Bank?
It's the First Bank Amphitheater, the big rock quarry thing.
Oh, over there by 840?
Yeah, like right.
Oh, we got it. That place is jam up.
Yeah, I've never been.
It is so nice.
But just, man, what an awesome hang. I love having people on here that we don't know. He opened up for Luke last year on that stadium tour and watched some of his stuff and watched some of his show back then. And just a real dude, real artist, sings about his life and man, has a huge following.
Huge. And it's from the ground floor up, which is extremely sustainable for years to come.
That's right. Hey, thanks for listening to us. Thanks for watching us on YouTube. But thanks for following along. Hey, keep the 5 stars ratings coming. Even
you guys are slacking on that.
Even if you're not going to leave us a roast, it's super simple to hit the 5-star and give us a rating. It really helps. It helps us feed our babies. It helps us keep the lights on in this place and keep the lights on the Tacova sign that they sponsor us and the God's Country sign behind us. It will help the show go a long way.
This is a funny roast. I just went down it real quick.
I smell it.
The title of it.
Oh, is dinner done?
I think so. It smells like roast.
I think we're about
potatoes.
to pull a leftover plate of roast out of the microwave.
You know what, man? I got to say this about New Guy Ray.
Hit me with it one more time. Dang.
He said the other day, he's like, hey, man, you kind of got...
New Guy Ray, come out here.
Come on out here, man.
Come out here.
Come on out, Ray. Bring him out. Let's bring him out.
Let's bring him out. I don't know if y'all have ever seen New Guy.
Look at this guy, man.
Come here. Just sit right here. Just sit. Just look at the camera. Whichever one you're supposed to. New Guy Ray.
New Guy Ray said the other day, he said, hey, man, He's like, I'm sorry if I made you mad with those sounds. And I was like, what? And he's like,
keep smiling at the camera, new guy.
He was like, I could just tell like you're kind of tired of the old sounds. I was like, oh, dude, I'm so sorry, man. I said, dude, I'm a total jerk. It was a bit. I was just kidding. The sounds are fine. He was like, I'll find some new sounds. So that was one of the new sounds, wasn't it, Ray? Hey, doing a great job.
Bump Knox right here.
I'm sorry.
Bump Knox, new guy.
I didn't mean it. I love you from the bottom of my heart. From the bottom of my Tacovas. That's one of the new sounds here. Okay, the roast is done. All right. The title of this roast is Baritone Can Be Hard from A.G. Corner.
Baritone can be
God, he really goes in on me on this one.
Oh,
or she
on
does.
you?
I don't know what it is.
You're easy to go in on.
Man, sometimes you shouldn't chime in with harmonies. Let the guests do their thing. Reid's all right on tenor, but daggone, Dan struggles to find that baritone. God forbid you stack it under the lead. Anyway, this is my favorite podcast, and I found a lot of artists that I love because of y'all. Baritone can be hard. I feel like I'm a pure baritone.
Well, where else would you stack a baritone?
Under the lead?
You going to stack a baritone on top?
Hey, don't come at me with things I know more about than you.
Hit me with a baritone. Took you a minute to find that.
Well, I mean,
you try again.
Bro,
okay,
wrap it up.
Hey, thanks. We love y'all.
5 stars. Keep them coming, or we're gonna quit.
Pop. It's easy. Review it. It's
so
5 stars. 5 stars.
I know right now you're thinking, I've listened to this and I haven't left a review. Go right now, man. Just do it, Brad.
Just do it, dude.
Come on, man. Sheesh.
Shout out to new guy Ray for the new microwave sound.
They love you.
Shout out to Cody Jinks. He's a boss.
Yep.
You're gonna love
our podcast. We're cool.
Peace.
See you, man. How'd the turkey episode do?
Man, we got a bass catching, multi-platinum singer, songwriting, dadding of 2, toured with some of the biggest names in music, including our boy LC, Luke Combs, a Texan. We've got Mr. Cody Jinks on the God's Country podcast today.
Best boots that have walked through the door by far.
Ain't no doubt.
Since we started.
And we've had some good boots and good Covas come through the door, but
those are sharp.
Thank you. Yeah, we had figured out. I had finally figured out. I told you guys. I think they're called Piraruku.
Piraruku.
It's the fish.
I'm gonna have to look that up.
And they're really cool. I always get they're not old. They just look like that. And,
I don't know if I've ever seen a pair of fish boots.
Same.
What other fish? What other fish is out there that they make boots?
Shark, maybe they do shark.
Shark boots.
I thought they'd be cool if they did.
Yeah, they do. No, I don't think they do shark anymore. I think they.
That'd be a slicky, greasy boot.
I think it would be like, isn't it? I don't know. We might need to get a fact checker.
We got one
because
right there.
Because maybe because elephant, I think you can't do anymore, and maybe shark. I don't know.
I feel like there were shark boots at one time.
I think you're right.
CJ, he got me, though.
I think you're right.
Hey, wait. Let's go back to the watch conversation. Wait. What were you gonna say?
I was actually gonna say I didn't say this before we turned the
red light came on.
The red light came on. You said your boy LC. He's the reason I became a watch guy.
I was about to say you can't hang out with that guy and not become kind of on a way smaller scale for us.
At least have an understanding for it. Like at first, when he started doing when he was watching, I was like, "That's some rich that's above my style." But then after he explained, I was like, "Okay, I'm kind of in."
You want to hear a lovely story about that guy?
Let's go.
Like I did a tour with him last year. We did some stadiums, and it was towards the end of the tour, and I came home. My father-in-law had passed, and I came home and loaded my family on the tour bus, took them to Houston. We were playing the football stadium in Houston with Luke 2 days after my father, and I got my wife, my mother-in-law. I put them on my bus. I was like, we got to get out of here.
Yeah, you had to take them with you. You can't leave them at that point. Yeah.
I was like, I got to go to work. Anyway, that show 2 days after, Luke gives for a tour present for it was just so cool. got me a really nice Rolex.
Yeah.
And so
He tends to do that.
yeah, and it was just the sweetest thing. I choked up. It was beautiful. Yeah, he's a sweet guy, and that's what we were talking. And I didn't mean to become a watch guy, and then I'm wearing a piece that my wife got for me for our 20th anniversary. So
An emerald piece for the emerald.
For the connoisseurs.
Yeah, absolutely. Look how gorgeous that piece
beautiful.
is.
it's an emerald Breitling, and I wear it all the time. And actually, we just did cover shot for the new record, and it's in there.
That's awesome.
It's on there. I was I was like, man, that's a cool thing to do.
Yeah, it is.
Awesome,
and I
dude.
tell you where he got me was like, like I was like, well, I'm more interested in like guitars or maybe square bodied Chevrolets, or you know what I mean. And he was like, oh, you gonna put that on your son when he's 21 and turns 21 and he's at his wedding day. And I was like, man, good point, dude. He kind of got me going with that. And then once he started talking about the history of it, and he's like, well, how cool would it be, when Buck or Boone is can look back on all these pictures of all these things you've done and all these places you've been, and you were going, hey man, that little watch is to signify that I was thinking about you the entire time I was doing that stuff. Happy wedding present or whatever. It was anyway.
That's a good sell to the wife to keep buying them too.
For sure.
You know what I'm saying?
That's going to work once. It's going to work one time.
Everything I buy is for my kids. Dude.
So
they're like, he needs this new shotgun.
Yeah.
We're
guys-
dialed.
That's it.
We're dialed.
Yeah.
One thing about the watch thing, but my best buddy in his band has a very nice watch. Mm-hmm. So while they were about to walk on stage, he was like, hey man,
this is great.
Can you wear this? I don't want to wear it while I'm playing it, so liable to fly off, And I was like, oh yeah. So I just grabbed it, popped it on my right wrist, while I had my watch on my left wrist. So I'm double watching now, right? So we watched a couple songs of Luke. We know the guy. We've seen the show 1,000 times. We love him.
Well, let's go eat some crawfish.
We're like, let's go eat some crawfish. We'll catch him after the thing, right?
Sure.
So we slide out. We're heading to eat crawfish at Jazz Fest, and
which turned out to be some of the best crawfish I've ever had in my
you ever
life.
played Jazz Fest? New Orleans?
No.
Super cool.
No, I have not.
Real artsy. Very
super
artsy.
New Orleansy.
We had entertained it at one point. There had been, an offer. Perhaps it never panned out. But,
Gotcha.
But no.
Okay. So as we're walking to get to grab our crawfish and chocolate ice cream, we are not at the same time, but you know what I'm saying.
If you dip the crawfish in chocolate ice cream, it's amazing.
As we're walking, this guy passes, because it's very tight quarters. So he's sliding by me, and I hear him whisper as he goes by me, "What a douche!" And I was like,
Did you hear Ray laugh?
"No, did he laugh in there?" And I was like,
Is that get a gobble?
"No, well, I don't know. Well, that'll probably pass." So as he passes me, I'm like, "Yeah, I wonder who that guy was talking to." And I was like, "Well, he was real close to me. Was he talking to me?" And I turned around like to kind of check him or whatever. And by the time I turned around, he was already kind of sliding through the crowd, because it was a giant crowd. And then I turned back around and I was like, he wasn't talking to me. I was like, I'm not. And then I remembered I had 2 watches on. And I was like, yep. Oh, he was definitely talking to me. And I was a douche. Like, if you don't understand and then I was like, wait a minute. No, this is my buddy's on.
You can't even.
And I was like,
that.
and I just kept on walking.
It's pretty great.
So if you wear 2 watches and you get called a douche, turns out you actually are one.
Good
You know, the
story.
guy on, we told that story. Somebody told us that one of the guys on Shark Tank, what's it called? Shark Tank is a huge watch guy, and he wears 2 watches because he's like, I have so many that if I don't wear 2 of them, I'll never wear them.
He has to get his rotator.
Yeah.
He has to.
Yeah,
make
he's the
them all-
rotator.
Make them all equal.
In the words of our friend Aaron Watson, he would be the spokesperson for Summer's Eve.
Cody, we do a thing we call What You Mad At. It's not like we have a song intro in it or anything. What you mad at? Just tell us what it is, what you mad at. Is it your in-laws, kids, might be your boss man, or your neighbor's cat? Just tell us what you mad at.
That song's called What You Mad At.
How long we got?
What you mad at, Cody? Or you want us to go?
Yeah, we can go.
I'm gonna.
Or be glad at something, whatever you want to do.
I am all of the above. I have things that I'm mad at. I have things that I'm glad about. I'm probably at this point, I am more glad than mad because typically at this point during a record making process, we would be like a month or two behind. We're ahead of schedule.
Nice.
Okay.
Which never happens ever. I mean, like everything's been on time or early, including vinyl pressings. So we just approved those. We just got artwork. Like everything is moving along with the. Most times I would be irritated as hell right now in the
Just
whole,
during the process.
during the process, you know. So I'm you know what? I'm just gonna stay with the glad things.
Stay with it,
I'm gonna
dude.
stay with the glad thing. Way more to be glad about though. What about you
I love
guys?
that.
Tell me what you guys.
I don't know. I don't really have anything. You got something?
I'm pretty glad. My little girl turned 3 yesterday. We spent
I've been pretty glad.
Let's
too.
talk about that. That's a great.
We spent a few days out at Dollywood.
Dollywood.
And bro, let me tell you, cheat code at Dollywood. I've never been. I went a long time ago, but if you've
never taken your kids, is what you said. This is your first time taking your kids to Dollywood.
Yeah, well, I went when I was like in high school or something. But if you plan it around a little bit of rain, cheat code. Okay. There, we literally didn't wait in the line at all. Some of the rides we had them like most of the park we had to ourselves.
You just ponchoed them, and
bro, you just walked around wherever you wanted to go, and whatever you wanted to ride. And we had a ball, man. My little girl turned 3. There were all these like kid rides. My little 2-year-old, he's almost 2. He was shorter than the minimum required height. We just kind of packed him around and told everybody it was his birthday, and everybody let him ride rides. And
really, even like in unsafely, what's the word?
There's probably a couple that were unsafe.
Oh, nice.
But he had a ball. Yeah, you know what I'm saying.
Just kind of locked him in.
That is why.
Dude, he rode the river raft thing where you're like going down the thing and the water's flying in on you. And I videoed it, and we got the little strap across of him, and he's tiny sitting there. We had a ball.
It's I think in my opinion, like the 2 to 5 range is I think that was my favorite.
Really?
It's they're little enough to still want to like come crawl on your lap and snuggle and all that.
Yeah.
But they're big enough to be like
tell you what they want.
Yeah, like my butt itches.
Yeah. Pizza.
Yeah. You know.
Yeah, I guess that could be my what you mad at, but because I'm also glad about it at the same time. It's like my 3-year-old is a boy, and he's obsessed. He's obsessed with me right now. Like, and that's really great. There's the great outweighs the negative of that. But like, I mean, he just busted in the bathroom talking about let me hold you, daddy, and I'm like, well.
Hop on my lap.
Maybe can I have 3 minutes to wrap this up?
The answer is no.
Yeah.
You cannot, and you will not.
And you will not.
And that never goes away. And
never?
No. And that never goes away. And in fact, it gets worse because that's the only time they bother you because the rest of the time they're not to be bothered because it's like, you know, my kids are 15 and 13, and it's like, hey, you guys want to go fishing? No, we're good. You know, it's like now it's like, so you charge the batteries up on whenever you cannot get away from them because then it's just they start making fun of you a lot.
Yeah.
And it's awesome. It's a different kind of awesome. And when they get bigger, it's a lot of fun because then you're cracking jokes with them.
Oh yeah,
and
got some inside jokes and stuff.
You know,
yeah.
I would imagine you guys have intelligent children.
I guess
enough. I mean, by basing this off of the 20 minutes I've known you guys, I'm sure you guys are doing okay.
Yeah, we're geniuses, dude.
This hillbilly genius,
and we all have it figured out as parents.
Oh yeah, completely.
But it's so much fun now because, like my son, he was pitching the other day, and he's like, "Hey, Dad, will you catch me in the front yard?" You know, he goes, "I think I'm going to pitch at this baseball game." He's
cool.
He's in the 14 under league. And I was like, yeah, man. And he's getting almost fast enough to where it's like, I'm not feeling real comfortable about this anymore.
Yeah.
And
buy some catcher gear.
He threw me about 20 to 25 baseballs, and I was just using my regular glove, and I just had to stop. I was like, bro, I got to get on Amazon and order a catcher's mitt and a face mask
and a chest protector.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
So it's a lot of fun, man. Whatever stage that they're in, it's a blessing.
I saw you were doing some fishing. I saw on your Instagram.
Oh man, I've been getting as much in as I can. I've loved to fish. It's my favorite thing. I don't really hunt a lot.
Yeah.
If I do hunt, it's duck.
Yeah.
But I sneak away and fish as much as I can. My wife and I have there are a lot of stock tanks on our land, and then we have another piece of land up the road with a 30-acre lake on it.
Ooh.
And so spend a lot of time out there on that. And
is that Texas?
Yeah, where is that?
Texas, where I live at home. You know, I'm still within about an hour and a half of Fort Worth, where I grew up. My wife and I grew up in Fort Worth.
Okay.
So yeah, but as much time on the water as I can, and I don't care if it's a John boat or a tracker or a Ranger or a pontoon boat. My dad's on a pontoon boat now. He crappie fishes a lot more. I still do more bass fishing.
Yeah, that's exactly how me and my dad are.
Yeah. Do you know he fished yesterday?
Yeah.
Hey man, I'm like call a player, dude.
Yeah,
bro, he's wearing them out too. Like everything. He's on the no. Crappie kind of quit biting, but bluegill have turned on and they're starting to get on the bed. And
man, he loves that.
I mean, I think he's cleaned. He does this thing. Our dad's a Baptist preacher, so he preaches a small church in the little town that Dan lives called Santa Fe Baptist Church, and they have a thing called Man Church. And they do fish fries and stuff like that. So
nice.
Where I live, there's a 20-acre lake behind my spot. Yeah. And he goes out there and wears them out. He's cleaned. I think he's cleaned 100 or almost 200 fish in the last week.
A bunch of fillets right there.
A bunch of crappie and stuff. And he was like, but I can't help but catch bass. Either bass are smashing right now.
Is he cleaning those too?
Little ones, yeah. I tell him to take out. We take out everything under 14 inches. If it's a pound under 14 inches, we try to let everything bigger grow.
Well, keep it healthy that way.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
He caught a stud a couple weeks ago, man.
Yeah, he caught a 10 out there.
Oh,
it's the biggest one we've caught out of that spot.
Wow, that's a big fish.
It was a big one, man. Somebody told me a long time ago. It's a 20-acre lake. Yeah. So he said, if you're trying to grow big fish, big bass, if you're trying to get fish over 6, 7, 8 pounds, he said, for every acre, take out 25 pounds of small fish.
Yeah,
of bass.
Absolutely.
So that's what we've been trying to do for the past few years, and I've lived there for almost 4 years, going on 5 years.
Yeah.
And every year we've tried to take out as close to 300. I think that's 325 pounds of bass or something like that. We try to do that every year, and I think honestly, I think it's paying off now because I think we're catching. We've already caught. He's caught a 10. I caught a 7.5 this year.
Yeah,
he caught 4 or 5 over 5 last week in one fishing.
Oh my goodness!
He caught it on
the belly on.
He caught it on a
sucker.
6-pound crappie test too. He caught it on a crappie.
You know what's beautiful about that picture? That's everybody's boat, and that's everybody's dad sitting there with it. Like I just saw my dad in the boat right there. That's beautiful. Golly,
you couldn't even get it in the tank.
It doesn't even fit in the live well. It's a monster.
He took a bunch of pictures and turned it loose. So thank goodness.
I can tell you, man, that works. Listen, that is my hobby. That is what I do. And whenever we're at home, I can tell you this right now. I have an order for red ear brim to feed my bass in my big bass tank. Because I make sure my big bass tank has nothing but the hogs in it, and I pull all the little bass out, and I either catch them, fry them up, or move them to another tank, and I've got my catfish over here in this tank, and the crappie go everywhere because they're like rabbits.
Yeah.
So it's a lot of fun. You're right. I heard the same thing. Pulling about 25 pounds of
if you're trying to grow trophy bass in a spot, pull out the little ones.
Yeah, I pull all the slot bass out, and I pull as many crappie as I can catch out of there too, and then I stock them with about 300 to 500 red ear brim per acre.
the ticket.
That's some redneck stuff for you guys.
Where who instilled your love of fishing in you?
My dad.
Okay.
Yeah.
So probably the same thing. I mean, as far back as you can remember, you were catching brim, and
it was as far back as I can remember. Yeah, and my dad was a tough guy, tough guy, hard guy, mean as hell. And the boat was the only time when I was a kid that we were equals.
Bro, I identify with that 1,000%.
If I could sit in a boat for 8 hours with him, I mean, I'm talking like Dad wasn't talking much. Mm-hmm. I was probably running my head.
Yeah.
You know, but Dad had a Marlboro Red hanging out of his lip and a a Skull Wintergreen long cut at the same time.
Double lipping.
Double.
tough guy.
You know, with a Coors Light beer going and just that cigarette.
He was away from mama, dude. He was getting it in while he could.
You're 100%. And that cigarette dangling out of his mouth, and he would slow roll a Texas rig slower than anybody I've ever seen in my life. Like he'd just throw it out there and just leave it.
Bro, my dad would too.
And he'd just sit there, and I'd be back there, my spinner bit, you know, and he'd just like,
he'd sing, go,
son, you're going too fast. And then he'd just go, wham.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
the trifecta.
All the sound effects. Hey, you know, like immediately sitting here with you, I can tell immediately that the guy knows fishing. Like you can tell.
Bro, he built his own live well.
But what's your favorite?
I want to get into that for a second.
Get into that.
I built a couple of them. We can talk about it.
I need one. I want to put one in my...
I got you.
All right, all right.
What's your first indicator when you take somebody fishing or you're talking about fishing that they know nothing about fishing? Because I know mine.
Yeah, ours is probably the same.
For example,
it's gonna call some people out here.
A buddy of ours.
It's gonna call some people out. This guy's gonna know who it is.
All right, he's using a spinning rod. Mm-hmm.
Set up the situation. You want to set up the
No,
okay.
No,
we can't go that deep.
It's too obvious. Flips the bail. Throws it out. Flips it over and starts reeling it like this. That's a very obvious indicator somebody didn't grow up doing
That's
that.
a telltale.
Yeah.
Or if that's funny when, or if they flip the bell and don't just start reeling it, they lock it back and then start reeling it. That one's funny too.
That's
a good one.
Or if it, and I'll even get more case specific with like I grew up, you know, bass fishing. In the South, we didn't say big mouth bass or large mouth. It was bass fishing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That's what we were fishing for, big bass. Mm-hmm. And if what's called modern day a bait caster.
Yep.
Dad called him an open face whenever I was a kid.
Same. Or Abu Garcia.
Abu Garcia 5000 series.
Why do they love that reel so much?
Dad had a red one and a green one, and they were matching. They were like both like 3,000 Cs or 5,000 Cs or something like that.
I'll try to get my dad a new one, like a Lose or something. He don't want it.
No, sir.
He wants the old Abu Garcia, big
the
silver,
old
Ambassador.
The Ambassador.
That's right.
Yeah.
And that's what it was. That's what we did, and it was. That's how I told when I was a kid. I was like, "Oh, you can't cast that? Oh, okay, all right.
Yeah.
You ain't no bass man.
No,
Here, use
no
the zip code.
bass.
Here, use the. Here's the 33.
You know, I think I can get my mom's spinning reel.
Zip code 30. Yeah.
I think we got a 303 over there. My baby sister uses. How about I grab a Snoopy foal for you? You know, Daddy backlashed it again.
Yeah, Dad.
He ain't no hand.
You can't throw it into the wind like that.
We were talking. Somebody was talking about fishing the other day, and we were talking about the same thing too. And a buddy of mine, his name's Casey. I say, hi, Casey. We grew up skipping school, going fishing. They give scholarships for this, by the way, today. Fishing in high school. We skipped high school to go fishing.
I love that.
Yeah.
But me and my buddy Casey would go, and he's like, how do you know when you're good? And I said, well, whenever there's nothing biting and your buddy makes a really good cast somewhere that he knows he's going to cross one's eyes.
Yep.
And then you throw your lure right on top of his and then giggle. That's when you know you're pretty good.
Yeah.
That's when you know you spent a lot of time in the boat not catching fish.
That's right. Oh my gosh, did we ever? We spend a lot of time not catching fish. I think I'm more of a catcher than a fisher. Reed's like the go figure it out guy, and I'm the call me once you get it figured out and I'll pop out there kind of guy.
Yeah, I like to hunt for them. I like to go figure it out.
Yeah.
It's hard to. I don't get to go figure it out much more because on a 20-acre lake, you kind of know what they're doing. Mm-hmm. But it ain't a spot where you're going to go out there and you're going to catch a 6 or 8, 10 pounder every time. Like you got to go. I mean, you got to know what you got to know what they're biting and throw it in the right spot and stuff like that. But
we grew up on Pickwick, which is more west of here.
It's a big bass lake.
And
it's part of the Tennessee River.
Yeah, it's giant. Mm-hmm. And some days you go out there and you could get in them, and then other days you wouldn't catch fish. You know, it was tough fishing. So.
All right, I need a live well, dude. I do. I still use the little cage. I just throw it over the side of the boat and drag it by my boat.
It's trash. The cage live well is trash.
I've got a 1656. Plenty big enough. But I've been thinking about it, trying to figure it out. Tell me what I need.
There's these little pumps, and I forget what they're called. They're like a red, white, and blue little pump, and it's not very big. They're about $25, $35 on Amazon. I bought like the 100 can size, because the trick about making a homemade live well is you really don't want to do it with like a Yeti because they're too heavy.
Right.
And so you want to do it with like the Igloo brand, ice
so
chest.
So a solid chest, but not the mega
not
heavy,
the heavy
roto molded.
The 100 can Igloo that is your old school, just plastic, but big enough to where like you want to go catch some cats.
Yep.
Then
throw some jugs out.
Throw some jugs out. I jug fish all the time. I love jug. I set jug fish. This is how bad I am.
We could talk about this for 3 hours.
I know. I go set jugs out, and then I go bass fish.
Same.
Yeah, and then I go back and check my jugs.
Yeah, the C1 rolling across.
It's just ridiculous. What was I even talking about?
Making a live well.
Oh, the live well.
Hang on, time out. What's your go-to jug bait?
I hate stink bait.
He's a cut bait guy. I can tell.
I do use cut bait.
I can tell.
And I use cut bait and hot dog wieners with red Kool-Aid and garlic salt.
Hey.
Bit of a concoction.
Hey.
I've heard the garlic salt.
The worst that's going to happen is it's going to stain your fingers. You might smell like garlic. You don't smell like, thank you.
Yeah.
You don't smell like gobble.
Yeah.
Gobble over this word.
Yeah. No, it does. That stink bait is the next level, dude.
I did
for days, dude.
Yeah, that's the worst. It's not the all like it doesn't catch them better than anything else.
Hey, here's what's awesome.
Cut bait catches it just as well.
Let's go put some poo on our fingers,
Sick.
Okay, and catch some fish, and then clean those fish, and then fry those fish up, and then when you're enjoying that, and then when you're enjoying that fish, you can still smell it on your fingers.
That's the best. That's the best argument for not using stink bait.
Poo fingers. Poo bait.
Can't wait to enjoy this lightly.
Fingers.
So cut bait doesn't bother me, man. You catch you some panfish, cut those suckers up.
That's right.
Hot dog wieners with red fruit punch Kool-Aid. Gotta be red fruit punch Kool-Aid.
Not cherry. Not to be confused with cherry.
Please, no cherry.
Right.
Fruit punch is the way to
garlic
go. Cherry works. I've done cherry before.
Okay.
And then garlic salt. Yeah.
All right.
Noted.
We're all ADD. Go back to the live well.
Gosh, sorry about that.
No, we're good. That was I knew we were going to do
We're
it.
just talking shop here. Anyway,
our listeners know this is typical.
All right, 100 can Igloo, and then just one of those small aerator pumps. It's a red, white, and blue one. It's about yay big.
I think I got one.
Yeah, and
how do you power it?
It doesn't take a lot of power, but you need. I use a lawnmower battery because lugging them big old batteries, like a car battery for running a Minn Kota or something, you got to do that.
Got to do it.
But in terms of just running that aerator, that little aerator run off of just a pretty small tractor battery or ATV battery.
So when you get back, do you plug it in?
Yeah, I plug it in.
Charge it up.
I run. I filled it up with water, and then I just start running it. When I start putting fish in, and I'll feed ice into it.
Mm-hmm.
I'll have a separate cooler with just ice, and those fish will stay in there all day.
Oh, just to keep the temperature. So
yeah, they'll stay. As long as they got that, you can build. That cooler is going to be your biggest expense. That or the lawn and garden battery.
But still, you're talking $120, probably
$120.
all in.
Yeah, and then You can take it anywhere.
Yeah.
I mean, dump the water out, or let the water drain out, and you have a cooler full of fish you can still pick up because it's not a Yeti.
Right.
Yeah, I'm about to do that.
That makes good sense.
Maybe
good
tomorrow.
Sense.
And then here's how my big one works too, because sometimes I transport large. God, this is how nerdy I am about this stuff, dude. I transport large amounts of fish, or when I pick up my red ear brim from Pond King in Lindsay, Texas. I like those guys.
Shout out.
Yeah, look, guys, they don't give me nothing.
Yeah,
I promise you, they're very expensive.
Yeah, yeah, they are.
They got great stuff though, man. But I took one of those 300-gallon like water tubs that you can put, forklifts under to move them. And I rigged me up a big one, man. I can put, it's like a aquarium.
So you go pick up your redhead brim with basically a kiddie pool and then attach it to the back trailer and drive them home?
Well, it's not so much a kiddie pool. It's like a
tank.
It's a tank.
Like
yeah.
those, what they made
like a
those
water
stock tank
Yeah,
pools
stock
out
tank
of.
pool.
Yeah, and I put it on my little trailer and pull it with my truck. And
You put ice in there to get them. How far is it to your house?
about 45 minutes. Yeah,
They live 45 minutes in a stock tank on a trailer. I'm shocked by that.
Oh, dude, they'll live all day. I'll just go before I pick them up, and I'll buy a few bags of ice, and I'll just throw the ice in I have the water ready. I have well water at home.
Oh, nice.
So I pump it full of my well water, and then they'll put some of their water in it to adjust the temperature for them, and then they'll have that cool water in there. And,
Wow.
And
Makes sense.
Yeah, no problem, man.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, that's awesome. I'm gonna do that.
I love tank cultivation.
How big are your tanks at home that you keep in your basket?
Not big. My biggest is I've got a 2-acre tank, and then I've got 3 1-acre tanks, and I work all of them.
See, this is foreign to me. I don't know anything about the tank culture, honestly.
Yeah.
It sounds interesting. It sounds fun, though.
I'm a hermit, and I don't go anywhere when I'm not on the road.
Same.
And so essentially, my wife and I years ago bought a playground. We bought a ranch, and my everyday driver is usually a side-by-side. And then we, like I was telling you, that 30-acre lake, we got up the road, and I'm usually on a 4-wheeler or an ATV or a dirt bike or a something outside, or a John boat. And then I've got my dad's old tracker. If I want to get out on the big water, we've got several lakes, and we got great bass lakes up around us.
Yeah, Texas.
I grew up on Ray Roberts. We called it Ray Ball when I was a kid.
That's a big fish lake.
But we're around a lot of water, and I just as soon have a buddy over and go fishing as I'd do anything else.
Same.
Your kids like it? They get out there with you, son?
Yes and no.
Yeah.
That's funny because I bought the place that I dreamed about when I was a kid, and my kids are just different.
Mm.
My ideal, I would have gone fishing with my dad every day if I could have.
Same.
But I got to pull their teeth because they've grown up around it more. And
Interesting.
I always wonder that.
That's interesting.
I always wonder about that.
Yeah, and it's kind of like my wife telling me, it's like you got this for you. They're growing up here and they love it. They love living in the country.
Yeah.
But it's not so much. We spend a lot of time together, and obviously we got a lot of space out there. And baseball is a big deal, so there's a lot of baseball with my son in the front yard. I throw to him a lot, and he just hits baseballs and whatever. Or I'll catch him as long as I can. But it's not really we're going to jump in the side-by-side and go fishing with Dad much anymore. Although my daughter did mention to my wife the other day, I hadn't asked her personally to go fishing a while because she was my fishing buddy, my oldest, and she's almost driving now. She's in driver's ed. And so my wife mentioned that, and I was like, hey, babe, you want to go fishing? And she was like, I can't.
But it's the thought. It's the asking.
They just, and here's what I know about women now, which is not a lot. They just need to be asked. Like it doesn't matter if they can do it or not.
You think that goes across the board, wives and all?
That's a generalization that I personally have made that may be unfair and unfounded in the eyes of some people. But I think that it's the thought and like the nature of it's the thought that matters, that you thought to include them. So in my experience, yes, because even like with my mom, I've noticed, because my dad's been very helpful in saying, "Son, you're going to learn."
Yeah,
and I'm trying to pay attention. Like they've been doing it 46 years.
Yeah,
and I have a baby sister, and she changed my dad. Boy, I'm telling you, he's not the same dude that raised my baby sister. I can tell you that damn much.
Agree. Yeah, I know how that goes.
It's just different creatures, man. And I know we have females in the room.
Yeah, let's ask one. How do you feel about that? Is it just the asking, or what do you think, Jump? It's the asking.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I mean, I don't think that was. I don't think that was. Yeah. I mean, that's what I've learned. That's been my experience.
Yeah.
So I try to make sure, because, hey, man, I'm trying to raise a daughter that looks for things in a mate that she's like, oh, my dad did that. That's important.
Completely agree.
Right?
Same way.
Yeah.
Yeah. Respect.
Yeah.
Yeah. Love.
Yeah.
Trust.
Right.
Yeah, man.
Yep.
Yeah, I get that. I'm the same way.
I mean, my girl's she just turned 3, and it terrifies me.
No.
You know what I'm saying? It terrifies me.
Oh, just wait. They get like, she's like, they're just so pretty. Like, you just look at your little girl and you're just like, oh my gosh, I will kill people for you. I promise.
For sure. Yeah. No doubt. And everything and anything. I'll kill anything. Yeah. I mean, I feel that. I definitely feel it. Or my son, that's the one they're the same age, decided, we asked him what he wanted for dinner, and he said, I want to go to hibachi. And he just calls it bocce because he knows they have rice. And I'm like,
yeah, man.
I'm like, well, the Mexican place has rice too, and is, I don't know, $80 cheaper. Maybe you're going to sling it all over the table anyway. Maybe we just go Mexican instead. He's like, no, bocce.
He knows, man. He knows.
So we're on the way down there, and my 5, soon to be 6-year-old little girl goes, I'm trying to talk him into Mexican, right, the whole time, which turns out my wife wanted hibachi, so that's why we ended up going there. But I was trying to talk him into Mexican, and I said, and Liza said, well, they have, my little girl said, well, they have edamame at Mexican. And I was like, they don't. She was like, Daddy, they do have edamame at Mexican. And this is where I'm too, with like my 5-year-old assuming that she's right and I'm wrong on things. And I finally just go, hey, Liza, how long have I been alive? She was like, 41 years. I said, you know how many Mexican places I've been to in those 41 years? A ton. And you know how many of them had edamame? Not near one of them, baby. She was like, no, this one, Mexican has edamame. And we went, I mean, I'm just like, how do you convince these jokers?
You don't. Not at 5.
No chance. You tell me it doesn't change? Do they eventually go, you know what?
Well, even the young girls find a way to make you know you're wrong. I don't know what they do. I don't know why, or because like my daughter will, I'll be like, I don't even argue with her anymore because it's like I'm going to be wrong for some reason or whatever, and then Rebecca will be like, we're not ganging up on you, Cody. You're wrong, and I'm like, I don't.
Okay, I am.
Yeah,
fine.
I'm going fishing.
Yeah,
I guess
that's right.
No, it's funny. It really is funny, man. Because just the little ones are just like the big ones. They're just littler.
Okay. Noted.
We can talk about this forever.
Yeah, it's funny.
Hey, man, you talked about your new record. Working on it. It comes out 7/25.
Yeah,
we got a little sneak peek of it. It's great, man. It's great. And I know you've talked about this. I know you talked about your sobriety, but the first track on that listing is Better Than the Bottle. Mm-hmm. Now that you are sober, now that you are on the other side of that, like, what are some of those things that in your life that are better than the bottle for you now?
That was one of the last songs we wrote, and it became the first song to go on the record. Everybody kind of fell in love with it instantly. I wrote it with an old buddy named Tom McIlvain that I've written a lot with over the years, and every word of that song's true. He just stopped by, and we had both quit drinking, essentially, and in terms of sobriety, it's like I do not drink. I haven't drank in a long time. I am California sober. So
that
there's some people that are like, hey, dude, I'm like, I just make sure everybody realizes, like, and Tom is kind of the same way, and we never got in any trouble together. After we had smoked a J, we got into a lot of trouble together when we were drinking.
Yeah.
And
feel that.
And he's one of those guys that whenever we met each other 20 years ago and started singing together and playing together around Texas and writing songs together, we were the good time wherever we were at, man. And growing and learning and, going through just life and growing up and turning that into a really cool, reflective song. There's a mention of a guy named Jay Johnson. He was a local singer-songwriter from our neck of the woods back home, and he lost his battle with things of that nature, and that happened years ago. And not a lot of people know who Jay is. People back home do, but it's you remember those guys and just look at each other and just like, man, thank God we made it.
Yeah.
So where does the conviction, because listening to the record and listening to all your stuff even previous to that, and there's just a realness to all of it. It's you're telling these stories and literally things that happen with your buddies and stuff like that. Like where does that conviction come from to just write about your life and tell the truth to your fans?
I didn't realize until maybe like 2 records ago that I was just kind of making a whole lot of different paintings of my life. I've used my life and my journey and my story as the canvas. There's not, you can look at my body of work, which is, I don't know how many records it is now or how many it's over 100 recorded songs and tell where I'm at in life. Not in every song, because some of them are third person. Most of them are first person. Third person. Most of them are first, but it's been a very, very much a journey. And I mentioned that in the liner notes on the Change the Game record last year when we dropped it. A lot of these people, I meet people now that walk up drinking a beer like, hey, I've grown up on your music. I'm like, yeah, I've been doing this a long time. And, we raised our kids on this, and me and my daughter, danced to this we danced to Mama's song at the wedding, or we played this or that at Dad's funeral, and so I make mention of growing up together, and I'll be 45 this year, so there's a faction of people out there that have been seeing me play for the past 20 years that we're very much in the same places in life.
Right. Mm-hmm.
They started coming to, see us play whenever we were young and better looking and had long hair and no beards.
Right.
And
then just switched.
And our children were non-existent or very small. And now we're older.
Yeah.
And it's a fun, the record is fun for me because I'm not young anymore and I'm not old. So I just think that there's a lot of just, I'm on camera, right? There's a lot of just, to me on the record, there's a lot of this. Oh.
Yeah.
I got it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know exactly what you're talking about.
It speaks to your authenticity, though, man, that you have been doing it for so long, but you're still like, I was driving into town today and saw a billboard of you playing First Bank Amphitheater down in
Franklin.
Yeah, and it's like you've still been doing it for so long, but your fan base is loyal, man, and you're gaining fans continually still, and honestly, even without the support of country radio or Nashville in that sense, I don't know how you feel about that, but it just feels like, man, like what you're doing is authentic, and your fans and your listeners and people around the world that are listening to your music are buying into it just by listening to it.
We were fortunate. We built a really solid foundation, and we were on the road for 10 years before anybody even knew who we were. Mm-hmm. And we were out there just running coast to coast, up and down, left and right. Just stayed on the road 9 or 10 months out of the year. I was on the road 9 or 10 months out of the year for 13 years in a row. And that's what we built. We built the foundation. We will always have a place to play. We will always have people that will come to see us play, whether or not we're on the radio or not. And that's a great feeling. It was a very hard way to do it. I'm not saying it was the right way. It was the wrong way. It was our way. But we knew back then that without the help of major market radio, that's how we were going to be able to do it.
And continue to do it.
And continue to do it and build a really loyal fan base. And it's proven to be it works. It's worked. We've been very fortunate.
I mean, ultimately, I feel like that's kind of the only way to have true longevity is to make an authentic product that real humans buy into at whatever age they are. And as long as you keep and continue doing that, that audience grows with you.
Yeah.
Thus, still coming to shows, still streaming your music, still supporting you in what you do. I say that all the time. Like, it's tough because we're commercial songwriters, right? So we're aiming at radio and different artists and all these different things. And so it's tough though when an artist has a bit and they're built on that bit, whether that's like hot, flashy abs or whether that's look how country I am or whatever the thing is. And so I feel like when you build it on that, there's only so much consumption until you're as a listener, you're just like, okay, what else? Where as opposed to this is where I am in my life. And look, it's an entertainment business. So I'm not saying everything has to be 100% authentic to the core of what you're going through in your life. But if you can figure out how to like encapsulate that, then you got your foundation of those people that are your age that understand it, and grow with you.
Yeah, especially through these records, man. I mean, these people telling you that they grew up on you and they listen to you. Now their kids are growing up on you. I mean, like, and that's the coolest thing to me is like you don't have to be anything but you. All you got to do is just put out. Just right from your heart, right from your experience, your life right now. And you can put out records as long as you live. And these people will listen and come to your shows and be Cody Jinks fans.
I think that's where we hold an advantage is because without having a record label, big record label proper,
Sure.
Oftentimes artists can't just put out their work because hey, we have to wait for the next record cycle.
Come on.
We have to wait on this song, that song. We have this held, that held, this and that. I liken it to what I'm able to do and the freedom that I have is I liken it to an artist that just say any painter that has a whole lot of really cool paintings. Some of them are really popular. Some of them aren't as popular. Well, should he have not released those? Absolutely not. That's where he or she was at that particular time.
Yeah, that's a good way to say it.
So I have albums that maybe aren't as one of my favorite records is probably my least popular record in sales. Just because I thought that the songwriting I'm talking about my 30 record, and because to me, I thought that was such a great exercise in my own personal songwriting that it maybe got a little too heady for a lot of people.
Sure.
So,
yeah,
it's but I needed to put that record out. So I think that artists oftentimes aren't able to just exercise and get that work out, cleanse the palate. You needed to put that out because if you just sit on that song in 5 years, you're not, and you look back, you might think I should have cut that song then because I had conviction.
I was there then.
And don't wait if you can.
Right.
Yeah.
Man, that's a good word right there. That's a testament to just putting out what you feel at the time you feel it.
What's our listeners love to hear the process of different artists and their writing styles, and when they write, when they don't write, if they come to town to write, if they write by themselves. Are you always writing? Like, are you always on, or do you set a time? Okay, next Thursday, I'm gonna lock myself in a room and come up with a couple ideas.
I try to stay really undisciplined in all of that. I don't
let it come to you.
I try to, but I always try to have something stewing. I always try to have, there's a couple of guys that we always try to have at least an idea. We're bouncing back and forth via text. There's always something cooking. Even if I go through periods where I don't write for maybe months, especially if I'm wrapped up in the business end of things.
Yeah.
And every day's a phone call or 5 or
hard to get creative and inspired when that's going on.
Touring, road, the administration side of it. I'm really hands on with every aspect of everything, and in most areas, I have help. I have a great team.
Yeah,
but yeah, it's a lot. So changing the hats is something I've gotten better at, but it's still difficult. And I've found that I have a more difficult time writing at home. I still write at home a great deal, but there's so much going on. 2 teenagers, and both of them are in 15 different activities, and it's great. And it's like everybody else's house with busy kids, and it's wonderful that I'm at home doing stuff. So if I'm not doing stuff with the kids, I'm on one of the tanks fishing or messing with, or on a tractor or something. I don't know. That was a long-winded answer.
No. I identify with that, because even riding in town, like the other day, I noticed I was looking at my phone a whole bunch, but it's partly because of the phone, because now my dog is tied to the phone, my wife's tied to the phone, my kids are tied to the phone, my house is tied to the phone.
What do you mean your dog's tied to the phone?
I mean, I got that Halo collar, man. Oh. So like when she gets out of the fence,
you mean your dog was like scrolling Instagram?
No, it's when she gets out of the fence, it immediately buzzes me, which pulls me out of whatever I'm in and goes, oh my gosh, Iris is halfway down the driveway. We got to get someone. You know what I mean?
Do they have? I don't know what I'm assuming. I understand what you're talking about. The Halo thing with the dog. Mm-hmm. Is it? Do they have stuff now where the dog can contact you?
It contacts you for it. It's like GPS.
It's not like treat, please.
It's not. The dog like barks twice.
I need water.
There's a code.
Bark twice.
It's like Morse code, but bark. Right?
That's great. I basically set a fence up, and it's on, I can look on my phone. It's GPS. It's just like Find My Friends or anything else. Yeah. And if she gets outside that fence, it sends her a little shock and lets me know that it did it. It's pretty wild, man.
Okay, well,
pretty wild.
I got you.
Yeah, it's wild. It's where we're at, man. But my whole point of that is like, it's speaking to you having trouble writing at home. It's the same. It's like the more connected you are to the things going on, and honestly, it's things that you care about. You know what I mean? Like I care about my dog, care about my kids, care about my wife. Mm-hmm. But that to stay in that lane,
well, that's where your attention's at.
That's right.
If you're at home doing what you're supposed to do, if I was sitting at home writing every day,
you'd be absent from everything else.
I would be absent. Mm-hmm. And that's been the whole point the last few years, is to make the time at home count.
Mm-hmm. That's right.
And so, and I'm at home as much as I can be. And my wife and children understand that I don't leave until I have to, and I'm home as soon as I can.
Yeah. That's where we're at.
Yeah.
We don't go gallivant no more, dude.
I did it. I drank it all. I went to every bar I've been in every bar after every show I played in the whole country like 5 times. Whatever after party in whatever town I'm in, at whatever bar that we shut down that night.
That's where you were.
Dubuque, Iowa, or Springfield, Missouri, or Spokane, Washington. I don't know, dude. Wherever we were at, we shut them down. I did it. And
can I ask you what the conviction was to change? Like what was it? Your family? Was it your kids? Was it your life? Health?
all of it, man, just everything. I just needed to change, and for every reason, mostly family, mostly personal health, mental health, probably more than anything. But I just had to change a bunch of things. And I think that's been beneficial to my marriage and my family, and learning how to deal with a bunch of things and going to therapy. And
as opposed to just kind of drinking through them.
As opposed to drinking through, I drank through them. I did that for a very long time, and then quit doing that, and then started the working on mental health and physical health all at the same time, and being present at home, and having my family actually get used to me being home, and then have to get used to sober me being home, and then. It's just everything's I've realized like I can't ever get comfortable no matter what. You know, I'm comfortable at home around my people, but everything's a practice. Like I have to work every day to like not be a piece of shit.
Same.
You know?
It's easy to be a piece of shit.
Gosh, right?
It's also kind of nice to just kind of.
Well, and like that's what I admire about. I have a close group of friends that are my age that we're going through the same things in life, and very fortunate to have these guys. And it's good to see other guys dealing with waking up every day and also trying not to be a piece of shit. Mm-hmm. And I'm just not even talking about being a great person, which we're all working to be better people. It's just, man, I'm just trying not to mess up. I tell people that all the time. I'm just like, dude, I'm just hanging on, man.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to love my neighbor. Yeah. And,
as thyself,
and not drink that beer sitting right there.
Yeah. I've been on a recent health journey myself, and when people ask me, they're like, "Oh, so what's it like you want to feel better?" I'm like, "No." They're like, "Oh, you want to look better?" And I'm like, "No, I just want to stay alive."
Man.
Like I'm just trying to stay alive.
Got reasons to.
That's the thing. I was talking about that the other day with somebody. I do the rowing machine, and you can tell right now I'm not a buff man.
You look good.
You're not buff.
Yeah, I think you look good.
I lost like 15 pounds worth of beer belly whenever I quit drinking, which is great. But my whole thing is cardio now. Mm-hmm. And so I get up, I do 4 days a week on the rowing machine, and my knees hurt, man. I've had knee surgeries. And so it's low impact. I can't go run anymore. It hurts. So just do my rowing machine and try to not eat all the ice cream sandwiches.
God, they're good, dude.
Well, that's what happens when you give up. You quit drinking whiskey. There's a lot of sugar in there. You quit drinking beer. There's also a lot of sugar in there. You're like, man, I got a sweet tooth like a mofo.
Wow.
Wow. It's like I need. Well, but here's the thing. My wife was like, "Oh, ice cream sandwiches are way better than drinking." So I've got Brahms ice cream sandwiches in there. Okay. I've got the Fat Boy ice cream. Y'all ever had a Fat Boy?
I've heard about them. I try to stay away.
You need to get a box.
God, I don't.
And then
I'll eat them all.
I've got the Klondike Bar Heath Edition.
Mean.
Heath Edition?
The Heath Bar Edition, the Klondike Bar. So I've got like a smorgasbord of ice cream sandwiches in there, and
you just roll them out the next morning. Huh?
This man after my own heart.
Just roll them out.
Big fish and ice cream sandwiches.
That's 100%, man. Life is good.
If I'm Flying J ice creaming, my go-to is the cone, dude. The cone with the chocolate at the bottom.
The nutty buddy stuff.
Nutty buddy. Mm-hmm. That's my... Don't let me see a king size in that hoe or it's coming home with me.
Man, I passed up the... what's the Nutella last night, and I needed just a little late night snack, and I was watching the playoff basketball, and I passed on the Nutella, left the Nutella in the cabinet, and got grapes and baby carrots and smoked them. That's good life decisions, because it's
getting
old.
It's easy to get the big spoon and then just hit the Nutella with the big spoon.
Nutella spoons. That's what we call them at our house. Yeah. Can I get a Nutella spoon before I go to bed? Sure,
Take half the thing.
Yeah.
Hey, man, I saw
200 calories, right?
I saw.
Well, if you stack it on top of it that I don't think it still counts.
What are you putting it on ice cream? No, it doesn't work that way.
Yeah. I saw a video of your boy Larson stepping on stage, coming up on stage, playing the guitar with you. Does he want to follow Daddy? Does he? Yeah. Do you support that? Well,
yeah. Well, I know you support it, but how do you feel about it?
I might try to. That's how I feel about it. Yeah, I do support it. How I feel about it is different. It's I can tell you this. My kids are older now, and not to hit back on any subjects or whatever. What I worry about is what most parents worry about is the sex, drugs, and rock and roll, and all of that's there and readily available if that's what you choose. If that's what you're choosing to do. In his specific case, he understands that nepotism will get you a record done, but if you're not any good, you're not going to sell that record, and you're not going to get another one.
Come on.
So I haven't tried to be an ass about it to him, and I'm not, and he takes lessons, and he's in a band, and they're really good, and right now it's all rock and punk and metal, and he's well-rounded, though. He loves
definitely following Dad and the heavy metal days.
But slipped around in that a little bit.
But if Alan Jackson or Alabama's on the radio, he's in. He's in.
Oh,
so he's real well-rounded. He just wants to play the rock stuff, but he understands this business. His mom, my wife. So we are married.
You didn't know her?
Yeah, I did. Still happily married. She started letting him go on the road on the tour bus with me when he was 7, and he's 13.
Seen it.
Yeah, and he's 13 next month, and he's seen it all.
Wait, he's 13, so he's 12 years old in a band?
Yeah.
Well, rocking, dude. That's rocking.
He's in a program with Guitar Center at our back home Guitar Center, and they put these bands together.
That's awesome. That's sick.
So they've got a 4-piece band.
It's cool.
And right now they're looking for a drummer.
That's like, who wouldn't?
We're not. Sorry, Dave. We're not looking for a drummer.
Don't
Dave.
give him a mic, dude.
We love you, Dave.
Just don't give a drummer a mic.
We finally did. After a decade, we finally gave.
It's not going to work, Cody.
We finally gave Dave not a doorbell, a cowbell.
Oh, nice.
And a microphone on the same tour. We've had 3 rehearsals. We automatically almost regret it, Dave.
I immediately regret this decision.
I told you it's not going to work.
But as for my son, man, he's seen it. He's seen all of it. He's seen every bit of it. He's seen my friends go to rehab. He's seen the really great spots of it. He's seen how cool it is for everybody to come and visit Dad whenever Dad's playing, let's say, Red Rocks or sold out show at Red Rocks, and everybody's there. All the friends are there. All the family's there. And
monumental.
That's great.
Show.
Stuff like that.
God,
but you can't do anything. Like they're at work too. They've learned that. My kids have learned. Oh well, we're working just like you are, Dad. And that is a work day for the family. Yeah. So they've seen it. They've seen the very ugly side of social media on. I don't know if you guys know this. I've been pissing people off in this town for a long time.
I didn't know. No, I didn't know that.
I try not to do it as much anymore. But
why do you make them so mad? Why do you make them so mad?
You definitely can't tell that. Listening to Snake Bit,
because you won't do the thing. You won't do because you won't fit in the mold.
Yeah,
and they want you to sign so they get your money that you created by playing gigs.
You know what the most beautiful thing about that all that is that you never needed this town, and you still don't, and you never will. Man, you got you're kicking off your Hippies and Cowboys tour at the end of this month. Playing the Franklin Theater at the end of this month on the 30th. New record coming out. Congrats on it all, man. Thanks for coming and hanging out with us.
Thank you.
We could sit here and do this.
I can't believe it's already been an hour.
You're fun. It's we do this a lot. Like, it's not very often we get somebody on here that we don't know, and we don't know the story, and we don't So it's always fun to pick people's brains that, you know, we've never had conversations with and kind of don't know the backdrop to it. But dude, you're great. You're awesome. Thanks for hanging out with us.
Absolutely. No, I appreciate it. Thank you for your time. Glad to be here. Great way to kick off the day.
Yeehaw.
We got to talk about fishing.
Yeah, no joke. Yeah. What about gravorite? You want to play something or no? It's up to you. Totally up to you.
I tell you what, this is honestly what I first thought a while ago.
Okay.
Was I don't even, and I don't, you can edit this out or whatever. I don't know when this will air, but we just had Mother's Day.
Yeah.
And I was going to play a song for Mother's Day.
Play a song for Mom.
What?
All right. Yeah, man.
My mom listens to every one of these, so I'm sure she'd love to hear it.
Yeah, man. We'll do that. And I don't know.
Shout out to the moms out there, by the way. I hope every mother had a Mother's Day, man. It's,
and if you didn't,
world wouldn't spin without y'all.
We try to.
A song for Mom.
Yeah, man. We try to.
I like it.
Try to remember. Got to celebrate Mom more.
That's right. We should.
Amen.
We should
celebrate Dad more than just Father's Day too.
Oof.
I will tell you, it's funny thinking. Do we have time for?
Yeah, you got time.
You can do whatever you want to do. Dan, push that mic a little bit closer.
Yeah. I was talking with this person one time about Mother's Day, and we have missed Mother's Day. We've been on the road for Mother's Day. A lot of people have done that. It's real world.
Yep.
And that's not good. And you always try to celebrate Mother's Day and make a thing out of it, and certainly, you know, help the kids get cards and presents and celebrate that and things of that nature. And I was talking with this female, this woman, my age one time, and we were talking about Mother's Day versus Father's Day, and it got to, I said, here's the thing, the difference between Mother's Day and Father's Day. Mother's Day should be celebrated. It should be highly touted. Mm-hmm. It should be a big deal. Mm-hmm. It always should be. It always will be. Father's Day, probably leave him alone. Okay? Probably like, hey, what do you want to do today? Not, hey, what do you want to do today? I was thinking.
Mm. Like, good tip.
What do you want to do today?
It's a good tip.
Do you want to go fishing? Do you want to you want to take the kids? You want to be by yourself? I'll watch the kids. Because chances are Dad would rather probably just chill.
Smoke a cigarette, throw a dip in, and drink a beer all the same time on the John boat
while he's crappie fishing. Sounds like a hell of a day.
You know, it's very simple. You know, like it's a difference. And so we get into this conversation, and I go, well, wait, if Mother's Day is for the mom, who's the Father's Day for? She was like, for the family. I was like, this is effed up.
So Family Day. Family's Day.
Yeah.
Father's Day is Family's Day.
Yeah. But I told my wife the other day, because we did Mother's Day the other day. It was the whole family was there. We had a great time. And I was like, man, for Father's Day, I was like, I think I just want to go to the lake. You guys are welcome to go. You and the kiddos. Yeah. I mean, if you want to load up in the old tracker.
If you don't,
it's fine. But
yeah,
whatever you want to do. Whatever you're gonna do.
I'm gonna go ahead and throw that out there.
That's what I want to do.
Anyway,
we'll make sure she listens to this.
Right. All right. So happy belated Mother's Day to all y'all. And I got to sing this with my mom. We played in Arlington last week, which is pretty close to a hometown show for me, and Mom was there. She gets up and sings this with me.
That's awesome.
Nice.
It's always a lot of fun. Play the mama song. I have to take these headphones off. That's going to mess me up. There we go. Got a half a six-pack of old Milwaukee and a half a bag of weed. But I can't do it like I did when I was a kid. This is all I'm gonna need, because I know you always worry about me drinking my dinner, but I don't do that anymore. got me a sweet girl at home. She's keeping food on the table, and at night she keeps me warm. So I've got me this piece of paper. I got my favorite pen. I know it's been a little while, and talking's not my style. I just had to write my friend. Doing all right, Mama, I'm okay. I know your late night talks with Jesus have held me on my way. I know it wasn't always easy raising my father's son. And your son will be alright if the shows keep coming. His old guitar and me are still strumming. No, you always knew I always took it way too far. I'm doing all right now, Mama. Doing all right now, Mama. Doing all right now, Mama. I'm doing okay. Do you remember the time when I was stuck in LA and I didn't have a job and I didn't have a way to pay the bills that I'd racked up? Yeah, you kept me from losing my truck. I'm a little better off now than I was then, but it's sure nice to see you calling me when I'm out there on the road. Yeah, you calling to say have a good show. I'm doing all right, Mama, I'm okay. I know your late night talks with Jesus have held me on my way. No, it wasn't always easy raising my father's son. And your son will be alright if the shows keep coming. This old guitar and me are still strumming. I know you always knew I always took it way too far. I'm doing all right now, Mama. Doing all right now, Mama. Doing all right now, Mama. Doing okay. Doing all right now.
Cody Jinks out in God's country.
Yeah, happy Mother's Day, belated.
Was that a true story about the LA?
Yeah,
Almost lost your truck?
yeah. Mom made those truck payments for about 3 months during the summer of '03.
Wow.
What kind of truck was it?
It was an '01 Chevy S10 work truck. Plain Jane, the little plain white one, no CD player, roll up windows.
How many nights did you spend in that thing?
No, oh my, it's all I own. I had that, and by the time I wrote that song, when I was writing, the time period I was writing that song about when I came home from Los Angeles in '03, everything I owned was in the back of that tiny little truck. And that was a bag of dirty clothes, a duffel bag of dirty clothes, a guitar, an amplifier, and a microwave. I had a microwave.
Essentials.
I had a microwave.
How did it work in the truck, or did you plug it in, or how did that?
Well, I had a microwave, but I did not have an apartment to plug it in.
Right, so
An extension cord to run
so
on.
it served actually after I finally got home and hustled an apartment up. It served as a TV stand because the apartment I got actually came with a microwave.
Oh my God.
So I had 2 microwaves.
Oh my God.
I know. It was awesome.
yeah, double microwave, baby.
Hey man, thanks for coming on. Thank y'all for helping set this up.
Yeah,
you're great, dude. And yeah, man, all the props to you for what you're doing, what you've done over your illustrious career.
Listen, man, there's a giant fan base out there that needs you to continue making music. Yeah. So keep making music.
Thank you. I will. It's a journey. It's a lot of fun. I'm having more fun now we're not on the road quite as much. So every show's precious. Every time we walk out on stage is a blessing, and the fans are the reason it is that way.
Yeah, they are.
And it's so much fun. So yeah, man, we're just so thankful and grateful to be where we're at. And I figured I keep living like that, man. We'll keep moving in a positive direction.
That's all you got to do. Keep it moving, baby.
Yeah.
Appreciate y'all. Thanks for watching. Go check out Cody Jinks. Got a new record coming out. Got some shows coming up.
Tour
new
starts.
Tour
Starts. Hippies and Cowboys 5/29 and playing Franklin Theater on the 30th.
Go check them out.
Can we come see a show, dude? I'm trying to come see a show.
You guys let me know if y'all really want to come.
I really do.
Then we will make sure y'all have tickets and your better halves.
Thank you,
awesome.
Caesar.
Yeah.
Thanks for hanging out in God's country. We'll see y'all next time. Peace.